Broadcasting from the last homely house in Rivendell, Middle-earth, this is the Secret Fire Podcast, sent to burn at the heart of the world, episode number 21. I'm Michael.
I'm Brenden.
I'm Micah.
On this episode, it's Micah's Middle-earth birthday, and Elrond decided to celebrate with the Council, and everyone who's anyone will be there. We invite you to come along, join the fellowship, become a servant of the Secret Fire each week here on the GCT Network.
This is your Great Commission transmission.
Happy Middle-earth birthday
No, we're
to
not doing that.
you.
No.
Oh,
Cha-cha-cha.
yes, it is October 25th of the Third Age, 3018, and October 25th is Micah's birthday. It's not really Micah's birthday here in this side of Middle-earth.
Right.
Okay, just so nobody is mistaken. But, you know, Micah, by October 25th, we may still be here on Chapter 2
I can guarantee we
of
will
Book 2. We have finally made it to the Council of Elrond, which, if you listen to Rob Inglis read this, it is an hour and 45 minutes long.
Yikes.
I think the previous chapter, Many Meetings, was like 45 minutes long.
Oh, jeez.
And how many episodes was that?
We did 3.
So what
So
is
this
that,
will
like
be about 8
3 times as much?
or 9.
6 parts, 7 parts, 8 parts. It may be your real birthday. We may get everything synced up. I don't know. What did we talk about last week? Some wonderful things finishing up that chapter, Many Meetings. But before we jump into to recap, was there anything that you guys felt we left unsaid? Anything that...
Nah.
No? You
I
got
don't
that
think
pretty
so.
well. Just lift up your microphone just a little bit, Micah. And, well, Brenden, we got a long way to go and a short
man.
time to get there.
Now, listeners, Micah, and I have a little bet going on as to how far we will actually get in this episode in the text. I say that we will get to as far as Frodo revealing the ring to the council. Micah says we won't even get past Gloin and his little.
We won't. It's just a fact.
Get out of here.
I'm hoping that we get to Boromir and Aragorn.
See, and
you don't think so?
Michael cuts the middle.
Yes.
He goes right between the two of us.
I'm cutting the difference.
There you go.
Well, so let's see what happens here. So get us caught up, Brenden.
Yeah, so the recap. Just on what location is this? In the Kindle edition, page 238. At last there came a knock on the door. "Begging your pardon," said Sam, putting his head in. "But I was just wondering if you would be wanting anything." "Ha! And begging yours, Sam Gamgee," replied Bilbo. "I guess you mean that it is time for your master to go to bed." "Well, sir, there is a council early tomorrow, I hear, and he only got up today for the first time." "Quite right, Sam," laughed Bilbo. "You can trot off and tell Gandalf that he has gone to bed. Good night, Frodo. Bless me, it has been good to see you again. There are no folk like hobbits, after all, for a real good talk. I'm getting very old, and I begin to wonder if I should live to see your chapters of our story. Good night. I'll take a walk, I think, and look to the stars of Elbereth in the garden. Sleep well."
So he's going to take that walk at nighttime, and it reminded me, we've pointed it out a couple of times, but the ring and the present darkness that's falling on Middle-earth doesn't have an effect as of yet in Imladris, in Rivendell. And Micah, go back to page 226 and remind us what are the conditions like in Rivendell. Remember, this is once Frodo has awoken from his nap after initially waking up in Elrond's house, and then his companions come and get him and lead him outside.
Well, the air was warm, the sound of running and falling water was loud. The evening was filled with the faint scent of trees and flowers, as if summer still lingered in Elrond's gardens.
As if summer still lingered, but we're in October. Now, on that day, it was yesterday, October 24th. That is autumn. That's fall. That's in the heart of that season, but yet in Imladris, in Rivendell, it seems like it's summer. And so that gave us a good opportunity. I wanted to play a song in order to get us in the right frame of mind, the feel, the ambiance, the aesthetic of what we may be experiencing here as we're getting ready to attend this council. I want to play a song by Broceliande. This is actually two songs put together. It's Broken Pledge and Shoemaker's Daughter, taken off their album Jig of Life. Again, Broceliande. One of my very favorite groups, Broceliande, doing Broken Pledge and Shoemaker's Daughter, taken off their album The Jig of Life. Now, here's the thing about Broceliande. We have played tracks off of their album The Starlit Jewel, which is all Tolkien and Middle-earth songs, Tolkien poetry put to music, and enjoyed that. But they have these four great albums which are seasonal albums. Jig of Life is their summer album. And then there is Barley Rigs, which is their autumn album. And then Sir Christmas, which is their winter or Yuletide album. And then Gathering May, which is their springtime album. And these themed albums, I like to listen to them all throughout the season that they're meant for. And it feeling like summer in Rivendell gave me the opportunity to play a track off of their summer album, Jig of Life. You can find out more about Broceliande and buy all their music at their website, broceliande.org. We'll put a link in the blog post for this very episode. And again, a big, huge thanks to Margaret Davis of Broceliande for giving us the permission to play their music on the Secret Fire podcast.
Heck yeah.
So that put us in the mood to go ahead and jump into the next chapter, the Council of Elrond. Take it away, Mr. Rob Inglis.
Next day Frodo woke early, feeling refreshed and well. He walked along the terraces above the loud-flowing Bruinen and watched the pale, cool sun rise above the far mountains and shine down, slanting through the thin silver mist. The dew upon the yellow leaves was glimmering, and the woven nets of gossamer twinkled on every bush. Sam walked beside him, saying nothing, but sniffing the air, and looking every now and again with wonder in his eyes at the great heights in the east. The snow was white upon their peaks.
Yeah. On a seat cut in stone, in the stone beside the turn in the path, they came upon Gandalf and Bilbo, deep in talk. "Hello, good morning," said Bilbo. "Feel ready for the Great Council?" "I feel ready for anything," answered Frodo.
Oh, he's refreshed.
He is. But most of all, I should like to go walking today and explore the valley. I should like to get into those pine woods up there. He pointed away far up the side of Rivendell to the north. "Well, you may have a chance later," said Gandalf, "but we cannot make any plans yet. There is much to hear and decide today." I think that's pretty ominous.
It is.
It's pretty powerful for Gandalf to say that.
We're glad that I'm very pleased that you're feeling good.
Yeah.
You were promised that if you made it to Elrond's house, but there's business to attend to.
Yes. Suddenly, as they were talking, a single clear bell rang out. "That is the warning bell for the Council of Elrond," cried Gandalf. Come along now. Both you and Bilbo are wanted." Frodo and Bilbo followed the wizard quickly along the winding path back to the house. Behind them, uninvited and for the moment forgotten, trotted Sam. Poor guy. Gandalf led them to the porch where Frodo had found his friends the evening before. The light of the clear autumn morning was now glowing in the valley. The noise of bubbling waters came up from the foaming riverbed. Birds were singing, and a wholesome peace lay on the land. To Frodo, his dangerous flight, and the rumors of the darkness growing in the outside world already seemed only the memories of a troubled dream. But the faces that were turned to meet them as they entered were grave. And let's just listen to who these faces were.
Okay.
The who's who of Middle-earth.
Let's do that.
Elrond was there, and several others were seated in silence about him. Frodo saw Glorfindel and Gloin, and in a corner, alone, Strider was sitting, clad in his old travel-worn clothes again. Elrond drew Frodo to a seat by his side.
Now remember, at the banquet the night before, as they were leaving, as Bilbo and Frodo were leaving the Hall of Fire, and he turned back and looked back once again because he didn't want to leave the Hall of Fire. There was that a little, almost an elegiac lament there. Mm-hmm. I want to stay there. I want to be in that company. And he saw Elrond standing next to the Lady Arwen, and he was clad in
Aragorn.
I'm sorry. What did I say?
Elrond.
I'm sorry. Aragorn, and he was clad in elven mail.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? And then that's when Arwen looked across and made eye contact with Frodo, and it pierced his heart.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But now he sees Elrond here. I think that also tells us something. Now he's back in his travel-worn garb. He's in the clothing of Strider again.
Ah, okay.
Right?
He's a rider of the North.
And he's a ranger.
A ranger.
And he's
yes.
the Númenórean, and that coupled with the grave faces that met Frodo as he's entering this portico or this porch, wherever they might be, wherever the council is actually being held. Mm-hmm. This is a stark contrast from, hey, I'm up for anything. Oh, wait a second. I didn't realize. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Elrond drew Frodo to a seat by his side and presented him to the company, saying, Here, my friends, is the hobbit, Frodo, son of Drogo. Few have ever come hither through greater peril or on an errand more urgent.
That's heavy.
Again, yeah.
That's how he introduces Frodo. Mm-hmm. Few have ever come hither through greater peril or on an errand more urgent. This little guy, this little halfling.
Oh, sorry, there was action in the chat room.
Oh,
Hey.
we're doing a show here, though.
Sorry.
Okay.
He pointed out and named those of whom Frodo had not met before. There was a younger dwarf at Gloin's side, his own son, Gimli.
Oh, that's his...
Don't.
No, what do you mean don't? I know that as soon as Frodo looked, because they're friends now. He and Gloin are friends, and so he obviously looked at Frodo and said,
That's my wee lad, Gimli.
Beside Glorfindel, there were several other counselors of Elrond's household, of whom Erestor was the chief, and with him was
is it Aristor
Galdor.
or Aristor?
Aristor, I think.
Well, hey, we're not philologists. More
Hey,
on that later.
That's right. Yes. Yes. More on that later. And with him was Galdor, an elf from the Grey Havens, who had come on an errand from
From Círdan the Shipwright.
Círdan.
Yes.
Okay, from Círdan the
We
Shipwright.
will learn more about him, just not now.
Okay. There was also a strange elf clad in green and brown, Legolas, a messenger from his father, Thranduil, the king of the elves of northern Mirkwood. Comment? No?
Not yet.
Not yet. Got it. And seated a little apart was a tall man with a fair and noble face, dark-haired and gray-eyed, proud, and stern. And stern of glance. He, this noble and proud man, he was cloaked and booted as if for a journey on horseback. And indeed, though his garments were rich, and his cloak was lined with fur, they were stained with long travel. He had a collar of silver in which a single white stone was set. His locks were shorn about his shoulders. On a baldric he wore a great horn, tipped with silver, that now was laid upon his knees. He gazed at Frodo and Bilbo with sudden wonder.
Yeah.
Here, said Elrond, turning to Gandalf, is Boromir, a man from the south. He arrived in the grey morning and seeks for counsel. I have bidden him to be present, for here his questions will be answered.
I think really let's focus on that just for a moment. Everybody remember this. He gazed at Frodo and Bilbo with sudden wonder.
Yeah.
That's a forward to
is.
something else that
It
takes
is,
place
yeah.
in the story.
Yeah, which I think we'll get to today, but y'all don't think so.
No, actually, I'm thinking much further in the story.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just remember that. It's almost as if this is the first time he had ever seen such a person, as a hobbit.
A
Hoblita.
halfling.
Yes.
Hey.
Okay.
Not all that was spoken and debated in the council need now be told. Much was said of the events in the world outside, especially in the south, and of the wide lands east of the mountains. Of these things, Frodo had already heard many rumors.
You need larger print.
I do need larger.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? This is why we have Amazon Kindle, because we can do this.
You can do that so that you can read that.
Bam.
Cast.
Hey, look at that. Of these things, Frodo had already heard many rumors, but the tale of Gloin was new to him. And when the dwarf spoke, he listened attentively. It appeared that amid the splendor of their works of hand, the hearts of the dwarves of the Lonely Mountains were troubled. Of the Lonely Mountain were troubled. It was many years ago, said Gloin, that a shadow of disquiet fell upon our people. Whence it came we did not at first perceive. Words began to be whispered in secret, and it was that we were hemmed in a narrow place, and that greater wealth and splendor would be found in a wider world. Some spoke of Moria, the mighty works of our fathers are called in our town, in our own tongue, Khazad-dûm. And they declared that now at least we had the power and numbers to return. Glowing sighed, Moria. Moria. Wonder of the northern world. Too deep we delved there, and woke the nameless fear. Long have its vast mansions lain empty since the children of Durin fled, but now we spoke of it again with longing, and yet with dread.
What's this nameless fear?
Starts with a B, ends with an Allrog. Is that it? Is that it?
Yeah, continue on.
Hey, okay. Hey.
You cheated. You watched the movies.
I did watch the movie. For no dwarf has dared to pass the doors of Khazad-dûm for many lives of kings, save Thror only, and he perished.
Oh, wait till we get to the appendices.
Oh, buddy.
Oh.
Now, do we have to go to the appendices to understand all this?
No. I mean, because we're reading through the story. It's your first time going through.
Okay.
Mike and I just like to tease you along the way and say, "Oh, wait."
Well, I just wonder if I need to be like going back and cross-referencing as we're going along.
I wouldn't,
Okay.
because I want you to experience them as a whole.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. At last, however, Balin listened to the whispers and resolved to go. And though Dane did not leave willingly, he
Did not give leave willingly.
Oh, excuse me.
Dane is the king.
That's right, did not give leave willingly. He took with him Ori and Oin and many of our folk, and they went away south. That was nigh on 30 years ago. For a while we had news, and it seemed good. Messages reported that Moria had been entered, and a great work had begun there. But then there was silence, and no word has ever come from Moria since.
For 30 years.
Mm-hmm. But then about a year ago, a messenger came to Dane, but not from Moria, from Mordor, a horseman in the night, who called Dane to his gate. The Lord Sauron the Great, so he said.
He had laryngitis.
Yeah. Wished for our friendship. Rings he would give for it, such as he gave of old. And he asked urgently concerning hobbits, of what kind they were and where they dwelt. For Sauron knows, said he, that one of these was known to you on a time. At this we were greatly troubled, and we gave no answer.
I wonder how Sauron knew.
We know how he knew.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait. Do we yet?
I don't know.
We don't. We don't yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, but I think it's there. And then his fell voice was lowered, and he would have sweetened it if he could. If he could.
But that laryngitis. Only
As
so
a-
much you can do.
As a small token of only your friendship,
Honey.
Sauron asked this.
Honey helps.
A spoonful of grace.
Yes.
Spoonful of sugar. As a small token only of your friendship, Sauron asked this, he said, that you should find this thief, such was his word, and get from him, willing or no, a little ring, the least of rings, that once he stole. It is but a trifle that Sauron fancies, and an earnest of your goodwill. Find it, and 3 rings that the dwarf sires possessed of old shall be returned to you, and the realm of Moria shall be yours forever. Find only news of the thief, whether he still lives and where, and you shall have great reward and lasting friendship from the Lord. Refuse, and things will not seem so well. Do you refuse? At that his breath came like the hiss of snakes, and all those who stood by shuddered. But Dane said, I say neither yea nor nay. I must consider this message and what it means under its fair cloak. Consider well, but not too long, said he. The time of my thought is my own to spend, answered Dane. For the present, said he, and rode into darkness. Whew! Okay, hold on. Heavy have the hearts of our chieftains been since that night. And we needed not the fell voice of the messenger to warn us that his words held both menace and deceit. For we knew already that the power has re-entered Mordor, has not changed, and ever it betrayed us of old. Twice the messenger has returned, and has gone unanswered. The third and last time, so he said, is soon to come, before the ending of the year. And so have I been sent at last by Dane to warn Bilbo that he is sought by the enemy, and to learn, if may be, why he desires this ring, this least of rings. Also we crave the advice of Elrond, for the shadow grows and draws nearer. We discover that messengers have come also to King Brand in Dale, and he is afraid. We fear that he may yield. Already war is gathering on his eastern borders. If we make no answer, the enemy may move men of his rule to assail King Brand and Dane also. So that's why Gloin's here.
You know, they're in this situation where this foul individual is coming and speaking with a fell voice on behalf of Sauron and trying to entice them into conjuring up this hobbit, which Sauron really doesn't know what that is, doesn't know where to look, and these promises of these rings and great gifts in exchange for this, trinket, this small nothing, that
Trifle.
Yeah, trifle thing that Sauron just wants to have it back, right? When it gets to him saying, "Do you refuse?" And at this, his breath came like the hiss of snakes, and all who stood by shuddered. It reminds me of descriptions in the New Testament of Pharisees, and this is off the top of my head as we were reading this. This is not the Christian theme for this episode, if we'll even get to the point where I had wanted to talk about. But going all the way back to Matthew chapter 3, and talking about, now in those days John the Baptist came, preaching in the wilderness of Judea, saying, "Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand." For this is the one referred to by Isaiah the prophet when he said, "The voice of one crying in the wilderness, make ready the way of the Lord, make his paths straight." Now John himself had a garment of camel's hair and a leather belt around his waist, and his food was locusts and wild honey. Hey, honey would help this guy with his laryngitis, actually.
It would help me.
Yeah. Then Jerusalem was going out to him. Now, obviously, that is implying that a bunch of people from Jerusalem are going out to him. It doesn't mean the city is getting up and walking over to him. It doesn't mean that every single person is pouring out of the city gates. It means that a lot of people are coming to him from Jerusalem and all Judea and all the district around the Jordan, and they were being baptized by him in the Jordan River as they confessed their sins. Boy, that kind of baptized, we talked about that a little bit at the Ford of Bruinen. And, and they were confessing their sins. But when John saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees coming for baptism, he said to them, "You brood of vipers, who warned you to flee from the wrath to come?" That just reminded me of this scene. Here comes Sauron sending, and I don't know if this is the... Hey, close your ears, Brenden. Oh. I don't know if this is the mouth of Sauron.
I don't think he would go out. I think
he stays...
may just be an emissary.
Yeah, could be. And, okay, you can come back now. But that's what this scene reminds me of what the story that Gloin is relating, and this account in Matthew chapter 3. Of course, later on, Jesus in chapter 12 calls them brood of vipers, right? The same group of guys. Going back to our text of the day, at that his breath came out like the hiss of snakes, brood of vipers. Just a little thought. That is what the elves, that's what the elves are hearing the dwarves coming to the council in order to receive counsel. Right? And Gloin had indicated to Frodo just lightly why he was there, but said it's best we hold off on this. I don't want to say anything until the council proper. And there we have it. Brenden, you're making show notes right on the fly?
Well, yeah, because there was some feedback that we didn't put in the feedback section for today.
Okay.
A response to the party tree invitation.
Well, boy, we have plenty of those coming up here.
We do.
We do.
We do. Elrond picks it back up. You have done well to come, said Elrond. You will hear today all that you need in order to understand the purposes of the enemy. There is naught that you can do other than to resist with hope or without it. Ooh.
Oh
man.
In other words, no
Man.
matter what, you must resist.
Yeah. Oh, I was oohing at the with hope or without it. Ooh. But you do not stand alone. Aha. You will learn that your trouble is but part of the trouble of all the Western world. The ring. What shall we do with the ring? The least of rings, the trifle that Sauron fancies. That is the doom that we must deem.
Oh, wow. They're already a step ahead of Sauron,
Yeah,
right? He knows.
Wait.
a very
Oh.
small step.
Well, yeah, a half a step ahead.
Oh,
we
yes.
know that he doesn't want a trifle. It's not a trifle
Yeah.
he's seeking.
Yes.
This is the doom that we must deem.
That is the purpose for which you are called hither. Called, I say, though I have not called you to me, strangers from distant lands. You have come and are here met, in this very nick of time, by chance as it may seem.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yet it is not so.
Ah.
See, yep, there's this
I
wink,
didn't
wink, nudge,
call
nudge.
you, and you showed Providence.
Believe rather that it is so ordered that we, who sit here, and none others, must now find counsel for the peril of the world.
Wow.
Now-
Last night I listened to Peter Kraft's lecture, Christianity in the Lord of the Rings. Once again, that's one of those things, and you can buy it on iTunes, you can buy it on Amazon Music, probably wherever you can buy digital files. And man, I want to stop here and just launch into many of the things that he said. But that was a powerful paragraph right there, as Brenden is still working on show notes here.
It's all right. Look, the fans are talking, dude. The fans are talking.
The fellowship.
The fellowship.
The fellowship.
The
They're
fellowship-
not fans, they're fellowship.
The fellowship is harumping.
Oh, okay.
Is what they're doing in the good way.
Oh, okay.
In the good way. Now, therefore, things shall be openly spoken that have been hidden from all but a few until this day. And first, so that all may understand what is the peril, the tale of the ring shall now be told from beginning even to this present.
Oh my goodness, I could launch into something there too.
Man, and I will begin that tale, though others shall end it. Oh. Then they all listened, while Elrond, in its clear voice, spoke of Sauron and the rings of power, and their forging in the second age of the world long ago. A part of his tale was known to some there, but the full tale to none. And many eyes were turned to Elrond in fear and wonder, as he told of the elven smiths of
Eregion.
Eregion, and their friendship with Moria, and their eagerness for knowledge by which Sauron ensnared them.
Remember
their eagerness for knowledge by which Sauron ensnared them.
Remember what Gandalf said to Frodo once Frodo woke up in the last homely house. Finally got Gandalf, tell me something. And Gandalf says, well, I can tell you enough. Elrond probably won't have a problem with this, right? Scoos his chair next to him. But, Frodo is asking, well, what about this place? Isn't this place in danger? And he says, the elves will never again
Yeah.
fall into under the control of Sauron. Okay.
And this is talking about that
This
time.
is talking about that
When they
time.
did.
And he's talking in the Second Age. We're in the Third Age. We're in the year 3018. And so it's at least 3,000 years ago that we're talking about. But who knows what point yet. We will know eventually. But so we're talking long time ago.
There you go. For in that time he was not yet evil to behold, and they received his aid and grew mighty in craft, whereas he learned all their secrets.
What does that mean to you, Brenden? At that time he was not yet evil to behold.
Is that, to me, I read into it, isn't that he was, on the outside, he was clean, pristine.
Like an angel of light?
He was an angel of light.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But inside, there were
And
evil,
you're gonna
evil machinations.
You're going to love the story when we get to it.
Alrighty.
You're going to love it.
Oh, there you go.
Numenor.
For in that time he was not yet evil to behold, and they received his aid and grew mighty in craft, whereas he learned all their secrets and betrayed them, and forged secretly in the mountains of fire the one ring to be their master.
Okay, stop. Think about that. What it's saying. Let's unpack that a little bit.
Okay.
So,
This is
Listen
why
up,
we're
class.
not. This is why we're not going to get to it.
hey. But there's
Michael,
a,
I'm listening, but we've got comments coming in, so just I'm listening.
you're like a magpie. There's shiny things on the ground. I have to pick it up. Okay. At that time, for in that time, he was not yet evil to behold, and they received his aid and grew mighty in craft. Talking about and these rings of power that were forged in the Second Age long ago. And whereas at the same time that they're happy, they gladly received his aid and his knowledge. But in secret, he forged in the mountain of fire the one ring to be the master of these rings that he had given them. Just dastardly, right? I don't know. I kind of just want to sit and read that over and over again. It just says a lot, and that is really the heart of the predicament that we're in right now. What he did, he's using that to control. One of the things, let me just say this, one of the things that Peter Kraft is arguing for in his lecture, Christianity in the Lord of the Rings, is that that Tolkien's Christianity is all over this book. Although, of course, as we have discussed many times, it is not allegory, because Tolkien cordially disliked allegory in all of its manifestations.
Amen.
That is actually in the introduction to the second edition of The Lord of the Rings, which we did talk about.
Amen.
And secondly, he does not like, what is it, Brenden? Moralism? Or,
Yeah, moralism.
yeah, moralism, which is what?
Well, which is basically, as a storyteller, to behave moralistically would be to impose your own morality onto the readers
It's really preaching
by
at people, huh?
using your story as a direct vehicle of your message, whatever you're trying to sell.
Preaching at people.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So he didn't like either one of those, and so you will not find those in The Lord of the Rings. However, he did, he has said in many places, I'm a Christian, which can be deduced by my stories, and talking about, the reason why you don't find Christ in the Third Age is because this took place before the Christian age. So it can't be. But here are ways that God is found throughout. And the one thing that Peter Kraft really built upon was this concept of only God has, only Eru Iluvatar has absolute right to power. And that was that dissonance, that discord that Melkor introduced at the very beginning. And how we find ourselves at this point, because now, Sauron, the lieutenant of Morgoth, of Melkor, is trying to assert absolute right to power. That's this battle that we have going on.
All right.
Anyway, so I just wanted to park there for a moment. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Let's see. Ring of Fire to be the master. But, help me out with this one.
Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor?
Yes, in Sindarin, it means silver fist or hand of silver. First age, he's a Noldoran elf of the House of Feanor, son of the of Curufin. After the death of Finrod, he repudiated the deeds of his house and remained in Nargothrond. In the Second Age, Celebrimbor remained in Middle-earth and became Lord of Eregion, and the greatest craftsman of that land. Yet in the end, his skill betrayed him, for he joined with the disguised Sauron to make the Rings of Power. Celebrimbor was the sole forger of the 3 rings. When Sauron forged the One Ring, Celebrimbor perceived his treachery.
Oh, man.
And he hid the 3 rings and prepared for war. I will have war.
Oh, that's drama right there.
Okay?
That's drama.
And then I won't tell any more about that. But that was taken from The Complete Guide to Middle-earth by Robert Foster. For you viewers at home.
And actually, this next is going to repeat a lot of what you just said, so...
Good.
Oh, hey, that's okay. But Celebrimbor was aware of him and hid the 3 which he had made. And there was war, and the land was laid waste.
I will have war.
And the gate of Moria was shut.
And this is thousands of years ago. This is in the Second Age.
Second Age, yeah. Then, through all the years that followed, he traced the ring. But since that history is elsewhere recounted, even as Elrond himself set it down in his books of lore, it is not here recalled.
We just recalled some of it.
We did, yes.
And look at the time.
I know, hey, we're getting close.
Okay.
Hold on.
Already? Whoa.
Yeah. Hold on, we're not going to get there. Dang it. Okay. Is it not here recalled? For it is a long tale, full of deeds, great and terrible. And briefly, though Elrond spoke, the sun rode up in the sky, and the morning was passing ere he ceased. Just want to cut it right there. Since we have the added feedback.
Okay, so we got through Gloin. So Micah lost.
Well,
I
fine.
lost.
Okay. Brenden totally lost.
I should have known.
I got pretty close. Oh, we got so close to the Ballad of Viglos. Oh, we got so close to a second song. But we will have it next time. Another song next week. One that I've been waiting for a long time to play. I think that is a good spot to stop. In fact, I think Gandalf wants to chime in on that.
You need say no more. We'd best get a move on. There are still goblins about.
Oh, bother. More mountains?
No, don't you see? The sun is setting in the west, behind the mountains. We're on the other side, to the edge of the land beyond.
That was a lot of information that we got.
That was.
It really was. I agree with you.
See, I'm going to go ahead and call it now, and you guys can verify if you want. I'll find out when we read the chapter. What this chapter is doing is making us aware of the crisis in this world.
Yes!
So then the climax will be, and since I know the movies, the movie, if the movie got this wrong, then Peter Jackson is a fraud and should not be. And
Shame
should not
on,
be.
You're a bad man, Peter Jackson.
If he got this wrong, then he had no business making anything of Middle Earth.
Okay.
But it seems to me that if this chapter is setting the crisis for the entire trilogy, for the Lord of the Rings trilogy, if it's setting the crisis, then the climax of this chapter, or of this book, I guess, will be the formation of the Fellowship. Because the controlling theme would be, and maybe it's not the simple acts of love and kindness, or maybe it is, but in a different way. But maybe it's the theme that coming together to defeat a common enemy, especially of this magnitude, is better than fighting him by yourself.
I like what you're saying.
Because and maybe we can work in that theme of kindness later on. But Michael, we've got some feedback we got to get to. We've got some responses to the party invitations.
Wait, what are all these?
What on earth are these?
Replies to the party invitations.
Good gracious.
Yes, we did get a bunch of replies to the party invitations that we have been sending out for the past several episodes. First up, we got a 5-star review in iTunes from our brother Cube Flexen. He title says, "Wonderful weekly event. The Secret Fire podcast is my favorite hour of each week. Remove the burdens of your everyday life and focus on learning more about Tolkien's Middle-earth and the story of Frodo and the One Ring. The guys provide insight and new revelations even to those who are veterans in Lord of the Rings lore. You won't be disappointed." Thank you, Cube Flexen, for such a delightful review. And we appreciate the words. We appreciate even more the 5 stars, because that will help people that are scanning the literature section of the iTunes store. It'll help them to discover the Secret Fire podcast, because they don't know that they're looking for it, but we're certain that they are.
Hey,
anyway,
there you go.
And so another call to any of you out there that use iTunes. If you listen to us, subscribe to the podcast in iTunes, if you would just take a moment to leave a 5-star review. And we can't see your reviews if you are leaving it from a different country. And so we're just seeing them in the American iTunes store. And I can see that other people have reviewed it, but we can't see reviews.
Man.
Again,
That's dumb.
well, first person that leaves a review that says, "I love this podcast," period, gets a super duper shout out. But again, Cube Flexen, welcome to the fellowship. We need you.
And Cube Flexen, just so you know, we do have the video feed, and if you want to listen to or follow along live, you can catch us on Twitch. But
after the fact,
we're on YouTube.
Yes.
And every time Michael has said your name, Cube Flexen, I flex 3 times.
In case anyone was
shouldn't
wondering.
you?
In case
4
any,
times?
No, Cube 3 cube.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Like Cube 1, 2, 3.
There you go.
Just 3 powerful pumps, bud. 3 powerful pumps. Thank you, sir.
Going out to you. Douglas Underhill left us a comment on the episode 18, part 1 of mini meetings. He says, "Hello again, gentlemen. In response to your discussion of the Wraith World and the Blessed Realm, I wanted to offer my interpretation. I don't think that the Blessed Realm and the Wraith World are 2 worlds that are both present in Middle-earth, not in the Third Age, and not in the same way, which seems to be what you guys were describing as your consensus. I think that the Wraith World is like a shadow cast by the living world, and because wraiths are creatures of shadow, they are more present in that world than the world of the living. The Blessed Realm, on the other hand, is a distinct place. I don't want to go into a lot of things you haven't covered on the podcast yet, but it was originally an island far to the west where the Ainur and the Vanyar lived. This is very small print, sorry. And where the Noldor lived temporarily. Even when the world was changed in response to events in the Silmarillion, which I hope you guys will eventually get to reading for the podcast, it remained a distinct place. It isn't present anywhere the way the Wraith World is. So I think that there is just the Wraith World, a shadow of the world of the living. Wraiths are more present there, and elves who have been infused with the light of the Blessed Realm shine there and can see that world as well as that of the living. It's never clarified that I can remember, but I wonder what Gandalf sees, whether he sees as a high elf or more like a mortal. I assume that as a Maya, that he can see the Earth world, the Wraith World as well. That being said, I love the idea that the Wraith World is a reflection of Melkor's original attempt to hijack the music of the Ainur for his own purpose. That accounts for the fact that it is similar to the living world, but shadowy and muted, and would explain why wraiths are more present there than they are in the living world, because they are twisted, hollowed out, corrupted versions of living beings. It accounts for why there would be a second world at all in the first place. It is Melkor's aborted attempt at creation, lingering like an after image.
Very well worded, and
that makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Yeah, I share the same.
I think
that
that we got so caught up in discussing and on the fly that I know that I didn't make my position very clear. But I still the Blessed Realm is, I mean, that's Amon, and that is where the
two trees
stood,
and the towers, were they? There were towers as well at some point, I think, or a tower.
Well, what I'm thinking of, and
not two towers,
and
no,
what I
not
want
the two towers.
What I want to point out is that is the heavenly beings when they looked at the song of Eru Iluvatar that they were singing. He was giving them the music, and they were coming up with this vision. They loved it so much that they wanted to become a part of it. They wanted to enter that, and they went to the Blessed Realm and Valinor. And so I still stand by my point, and I could be wrong, that is a reflection of the heavenly realm, as of Eru Iluvatar, as the Wraith world is a reflection of Melkor's corruption. I think that they are.
Well, then where did the actual world come from?
I don't know. No, it all came.
Micah, we ain't got time to answer that question right now.
That. But no, I mean, Douglas Underhill is a sharp cookie. Okay, and what he's saying makes absolute sense. I'm just talking about representation, and so when an elf is said to live both see both the blessed realm, or live both at the same time in the blessed realm and Middle Earth, I'm just talking about that reflection of Eru Iluvatar. The blessed realm is a reflection of that, because that's where the heavenly beings, the Holy One, said, we want to be a part of this creation. It's amazing. And so when they went there and inhabited Valinor, they naturally brought with them the vision.
Do you mean a reflection as in like
a vision?
A metaphorical
Yes,
reflection.
I'm talking purely
not a
metaphorical.
Physical
That's
reflection,
right.
but a metaphor. Okay.
Yeah. Does that make any sense?
It does now.
Okay. Well, so anyway, that's a great stuff. Hey, we also got a voicemail on our Speak Pipe.
Ooh, the Hobbit Hotline.
Yeah. Well, this is actually, if you go to our website at secretfirepodcast.com, down in the bottom corner, we'll have a thing, leave us a voicemail or whatever. You can do it right from your computer. And that is just what the patron saint Michael Potter did.
Hey, guys, this is Michael, the ranger from the north. Well, Michigan, anyway. Just wanted to send you a message and let you know that one weird person in the world actually got the Brian Regan reference of Many Much Moosin'. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Brian Regan, love his stuff, have all the recordings, and had a good laugh when I heard you guys talk about it in episode 3 of Many Meetings. Anyway, love you guys, love the podcast, can't wait to hear from you next time. Thanks.
I love it when that happens, because on both of our shows, Brenden, this one and Finding Christ in Cinema, we'll make references and not explain what the reference is, always hoping that somebody's going to contact us. Hey, I got that. That's fun. Those are like little nuggets, right? Extra
Easter
treats.
eggs.
And I'm also thankful that the patron saint, Michael Potter, didn't call in and say,
I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve.
So thank you for...
Why would he do that?
I don't know.
I'm glad he didn't.
I'm glad he didn't either. He loves the show. He loves us. And the feeling is mutual. And Michael Potter is a patron saint, of course, because he supports the ongoing work here at the GCT network. Now, what else do we have, Brenden?
We have Old Badgerbrock. Left a comment on Lord of the Rings prologue concerning hobbits. That's episode 1.
Yes, he left this comment yesterday.
Oh, yes, he did.
He did.
Here's what he said. He said, I finished listening to episode 1 a moment ago and enjoyed it very much. Parentheses, I was unable to find episode 0 at the URL given in the podcast.
Now,
close parentheses.
I don't know what if we mentioned a URL where I said, hey, in episode 1, hey, go to this link, and you can. I don't know, but I do know that I immediately went to the website to make sure that episode 0, which is just a placeholder, it's just an introduction to the show. It does play on secretfirepodcast.com. So anyway,
no. I was very impressed by the podcaster's depth of knowledge of Tolkien's works. Oh, and by that he means Micah and Michael.
Yeah. we're no experts.
Hey, there you go. One portion of Tolkien's works, however, seems to be neglected by many otherwise knowledgeable readers, namely the appendices that follow The Return of the King, and Appendix E in especial. I believe it is the responsibility of those who read and or speak publicly about Tolkien's works to learn the proper pronunciation, particularly of the Elvish language so often used in the names of people, places, and things. The vowels are not always pronounced as they are in American English, and the stress does not always fall where American English speakers naturally expect. For example, in Episode 1, the name
Elisar. But I may be incorrect. Who knows?
Yeah, was said a few times with the accent on the first syllable. This is incorrect. Following the rules given in Appendix E, the accent instead should fall on the second syllable. So Elisar.
Yeah. Okay.
That was my only quibble with an otherwise excellent podcast.
Is that it?
Hey, there you go.
Oh, okay.
No,
hey,
well, that's it for Badger Brock and the comment that he left. However,
well, wait a second. Let's address that because I do love. That's one thing I love about Tolkien fans and students is take it very seriously. Okay, and I hope that I don't offend anybody right now, but that is one of the differences between book fans and movie fans. You know those folks that have never read the books, but yet Lord of the Rings is one of their favorite things ever. They're huge fans of the Lord of the Rings and their movies.
Right.
Don't take me the wrong way. I am not insulting them. I do feel sorry. I do feel bad. I feel that you are selling yourself very short by only watching movies. And we know it's a daunting task. It's a thick. I mean, Micah, hold up the book. We have the 1-volume book. He can't even lift it up.
So big. It's like.
Yeah,
that tome.
And so there's a big difference. There is a difference. Now, of course, many of the book fans are also fans of the films because we get to see some, one artist's interpretation of Middle-earth. But when you have a person that takes it seriously, which I think that it should be taken very seriously, old Badger Brock, and I agree with you. But what we're going to do right now is throw ourselves at your mercy. Don't give us justice, give us mercy, because we are not philologists. We are not the Tolkien professor. We are guys who love story, love literature. We love j.r.r. Tolkien. We love the professor. I mean, this has been my whole lifetime. But our point and our purpose with this show is really what Peter Kraft started. We want to just run with it, and that is reading Tolkien's world through Christian lenses, knowing that he was a Christian, a devout and pious Catholic, and that so therefore the fingerprint or the imprint of God should be all throughout this story without being an allegory or moralism. Right, and so that's really our purpose
and
here.
I know I have butchered some of the names.
So and it will continue to happen.
Yeah, it will. But.
And so again, just have mercy on us, and we are happy to have you in the fellowship. And by all means, being a part of the fellowship means that you get to correct us on things, or you get to share your knowledge through this show, and we reach the audience with your expertise.
Hey, it's only iron sharpening iron.
Amen, brother.
I mean, hey.
Yep.
And Old Badger Brock, excuse me, that was me hitting the microphone. Old Badger Brock just happens to be in the chat room.
Oh, well, welcome.
So there, and he's got a few more pronunciation tidbits. I don't know if we want to go through them right now, or I think we could.
Sure.
Yeah. First of all, he says Brocelion is indeed an outstanding group. I own a couple of their CDs and saw them perform at MythCon a few years back. Yeah. So there you go.
We interviewed them on one of our shows on the old Middle Earth Network, and that would have been back in about 2012, either on the Founders Inklings show or Middle Earth Network specials. You can search for either one of those on the Internet Archive, archive.org. I can't remember which episode it was, but and we talked to them about their album, The Starlit Jewel, and just had a great time. I absolutely adore Broceliande.
Yeah, there you go. It's pronounced Erestor.
Okay.
Erestor, and he gives us a little. He gives us a little tool.
A key. He gave us a key.
He gave us a tool. Yes,
right.
He did. Consonants at the end of the penultimate and beginning of the ultimate syllables means that the stress is placed there.
Okay.
So in the middle syllable.
Yeah.
So penultimate meaning
second to last,
and then ultimate meaning last. So Erestor is where I guess we
Arrestor.
That's where. Well, yeah. That's where we would say it. But
Okay.
now that we have the key, we know that it's Erestor.
Okay. Well, then it's your job to keep us on track through. No, actually, Old Badger Brock, it's your job to keep us on track. You tell Brenden, and then he'll tell the rest of us.
And then he just says that again Tolkien provides the pronunciation guide and Appendix E,
right?
And that with a little study and practice, it should be manageable. It should be.
I have to admit here in front
be.
of God and everybody that I have always avoided that appendix.
I have too.
Yeah.
So don't worry, Michael. We're in the
But
same
now we've
boat.
been called to the carpet.
Hey, there you go. And then on Twitter, I don't think you got this, Michael, because he only tagged me.
Okay.
But Mr. Joseph Villafane at Twitter, and I think this is in response to last week's episode on Mini Meetings Part 3. I think, and he can correct us if we're wrong on that one, or excuse me, he can correct me if I'm wrong on that one.
No, Part 2.
Or Part 2.
Yeah.
No, last week was Part 3.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he did it in real time. Maybe
Yes.
he was watching live as well.
I think so.
Okay.
Well, he tweeted as he was watching it. I think. I don't know. But anyway, he says, great episode. Don't y'all think these books sort of have the wedding theme to them going on over and over? And he put wedding in quotation marks. Notice how Frodo is referred to as the ring bearer.
Ha!
His path could be considered the walk down the aisle.
Hey!
And there's definitely an echo of Christ's bride being shown in these last couple of chapters.
Oh, goodness. And in this chapter, when we get to that, yes.
When we get to the climax.
Oh, yes. Great comment.
So thank you, Joseph. We appreciate that.
All right. Is it Joseph or Yosef?
From what I understand, it is Joseph, because there's actually a girl in, I work at a school, and it's a public school, plenty of Spanish-speaking children.
Oh, okay, okay.
And her name is Jocelyn, but it's spelled Yoselin. And I was told by her mom, actually, because I was curious, like, how do you pronounce her name? And she said, oh, it's a Y, but it's pronounced like a J.
Okay.
So
good.
Jocelyn, so I'm just assuming Joseph.
More vocabulary here on Secret Fire Podcast.
There you go. There you go.
All right, that is a great amount of feedback of returned party invitations, and we just love that. We love interacting with you folks. So, by all means, if you want to encourage us, if you want to correct us, if you just want to have fun, if you want to point out our Brian Regan references, we want to hear from you.
I got to hear this Brian Regan guy.
Oh, Brenden.
Sorry.
Brenden.
Is it like Ray Stevens?
No, way better than Ray Stevens.
What?
Way
Get
better
out of
than
here. How is
Brian
that
Regan is a bona fide he's bona fide.
He's bona fide. He's a suitor.
All right. Well, we have some other some more party invitations to send out, and so next week we are going to do part 2 of however many. Who knows how many parts are going to be of the Council of Elrond. But the Secret Fire Podcast is live each Saturday, Lord willing, at about 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time in the GCT Network studio. You can join us for live video and chat with Brenden all the way through on our Twitch page at twitch.tv/Secret Fire Podcast.
And you can join us on the Arkenstone server and Lord of the Rings Online at lotro.com.
To find out more about the Secret Fire Podcast, as well as our other shows, including including Finding Christ in Cinema and the Theonauts, visit our main website at gctnetwork.com.
You can send us an email at secretfire@gctnetwork.com. You can call us up on the Hobbit hotline, where Fatty Bulger is standing by at 507-407-GCTN.
Potatoes.
That's 507-407-4286.
Potatoes.
Now, you can be like Joseph and tweet at us on Twitter at SecretFireCast, or you could just listen to the good old podcast.
That's what I'd like to do.
And you can do so at iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, or your favorite podcatcher, and search them all for the Secret Fire Podcast.
Next day, Frodo woke early, feeling refreshed and well.
And our theme song, Hobbit's Dance, is from the album Memories of Middle-earth by Brobdingnagian and Bards. Find out more about them and buy music of all kinds of different formats at their website, thebards.net. And until next time, we regret to tell you...
This is the end. I'm going away. I'm leaving. Now, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Hey,
it was tied to the penultimate syllable.
Get out of here.
Yes, thank you,
All
folks,
right.
for tuning in and watching live and chatting with Brenden and distracting him from his duties. We do appreciate it. It makes it a lot of fun. Like we said, we're here live each Saturday in the studio,
me from my
and
duties.
if you want to, if you see this after the fact, we'll be on YouTube. Just search for Secret Fire Podcast. But the best thing to do is to subscribe to the podcast in your favorite podcatcher. Search them all for the Secret Fire Podcast. Yeah, Brenden. So you're going to be the keeper of the pronunciation key provided by Old Badger.
That's a bit cruel.
What?
Old Badger Brock.
Oh, yeah. Oh, just the keeper of the key. Okay.
Yeah.
So
you can do that. Yeah.
But you're laying
Hey,
full responsibility of the pronunciations
on the new guy.
Yeah.
On the new guy. Hey,
Well,
I got to toughen up somehow, right?
Yes. Hey, toughen up or shut up.
I got to pull
right?
myself up by the bootstraps.
That's what they say, isn't
That's
it?
right.
Yes.
That's right.
All right. We'll talk to you guys next time, next week, Lord willing, and the brewing don't rise.